Hey everyone, my last 6 vehicles were Teslas, and the reason for that is quite simple. I'm not fanboying here, I am actually being very rational. I believe that when I'm buying Teslas, I'm buying more. I'm buying not just a car, and this is what I would like to discuss today.
Yeah, let's talk about the reasons for that. Over the years, Tesla was easily either the best or among the best cars available. The best available electric vehicle, the quickest, the longest range, the safest, the most advanced autopilot. Remember autopilot?
The autopilot is still not available, so I need to drive a little bit more.
Vehicles gradually were becoming better and better and better, and if you ask me if Teslas are the best vehicles, as cars, as trucks, they are probably not the best ones.
Because competition is a beautiful thing. It's great for consumers, for us, and it's great for companies because it pushes them to innovate. Still, objectively, by a combination of factors, there is no better car than a Tesla. The rhetoric stays the same. The safest, native supercharger infrastructure, beautiful software, and no matter what you read from consumers' reports, they almost don't break. But if we break it up by categories, then yes, Teslas are not the quickest production cars anymore. But they are still at the top, and we are still waiting for that new Roadster, that's true. They don't have the biggest range, that's true too, but they still beat more than 70% of the cars being announced today, and I still haven't lost my hopes to see a 600-mile Tesla.
These numbers sound nutty, but they're real. 620-mile range.
A few days ago, I tested the latest FSD in my city, and I started thinking why I am buying Teslas. And I realized it.
Since FSD became available, I was buying a robot.
What a twist!
If we talk about robots on wheels or transportation robots, let's see the definition of the word robot.
A robot is a programmable machine capable of carrying out complex actions automatically, especially ones controlled and programmed by a computer.
By definition, it means that you can buy an industrial machine, which is a robot, and it will cost you a fortune, or build one yourself, or get a regular CNC, which is technically a robot. There is also the option to buy a humanoid robot from China, dress it as a maid, and break a mirror in your house with it. But there are no available systems that can take you from point A to point B, similar to Tesla's FSDs that you can purchase. They weren't available when it was version 12, which showed the real breakthrough back in the day, or version 13, which was almost there but still needed some polish and love. And definitely they are not available now with the version 14, which is simply driving by itself, and I would say that it is driving probably better than me.
And after years of driving, it's really difficult to admit that, to be honest. And we all saw those videos from city streets where Teslas are driving for hours without any interventions with the latest firmware, and it's absolutely bonkers. And yesterday I went to the mountains, and just for giggles I decided to let my car go as long as it wants before it gets too sketchy. And take a look at that.
So this is probably the ultimate test for FSD. Just take a look at the road. It's a mountain road. It's going to Ayam Lookout. It is freaking crazy because a couple of years ago I went up here in my Model X. It was absolutely super sketchy because the road, it's full of potholes that you can see right now because they are covered in snow, but it's out of the city. The civilization is down there, but it's at the bottom of the mountain. I'm coming up here in my car using just FSD, so the robot is driving, not me. Oh wow. This is crazy. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And this is sketch right here. It's just a cliff going down. I mean, wow. People who bought FSD and who got used to FSD, to artificial intelligence in their cars that drive safer, more relaxed, and sometimes faster and better in terms of comfort, are not going back to regular cars, and not because they are not loving to drive cars, but because they prefer comfort. It's like having your chauffeur inside of a car, and when you don't like to drive, you can always press a button. You always have that option, which is not available with regular cars.
And to be completely fair, the only market where you can buy a car with a similar system is China, and even head-to-head they are not there yet. They're close, but not yet. But like I said, competition is a beautiful thing. So if you own a Tesla, then yeah, good for you. You own a robot, use it properly. And if we come down to that, I would even say these are different categories of products. Either you buy a car that you need to drive, or you buy a robot that drives by itself and only looks like a car, because it's a definition of its shape.
I'm a cybernetic organism.
And I really don't understand why other car manufacturers, without having any good alternative, are not trying to license Tesla FSD. I would buy, for example, Rivian. I think they are amazing cars, they are amazing trucks, but I wouldn't buy a car or a truck that is not driving by itself. And this is the whole point. This is a deal breaker, like complete deal breaker for me, because it's like offering you a phone with a keyboard when there are iPhones available on the market.
And analogy here is quite simple. No, I don't have anything against keyboard and cell phones. And yes, there are still people who use hardware keyboards with their phones, developers and such. But it's such a small amount of people that they don't simply exist compared to the volume of the cell phone market. What I'm trying to say here is that other auto manufacturers lose people who have experienced self-driving car as a product that they can own and use, and you really don't want to downscale from that. Other automakers lost me specifically for that reason. Again, I'm not exaggerating and I'm not being dramatic. And please don't feed me that, oh, you don't like driving bullshit. No, I love driving, but I love to drive when I choose to.
In big order of things, people would prefer more comfort than less comfort. And again, FSD is more comfort for sure, safer, more reliable. You can relax and, things like that.
And that loving to drive statement and not loving to drive statement is quite ridiculous. Imagine if you are buying a robot vacuum and the seller is like,
well, this one you need to control manually. It's like an RC car, but slow.
And yeah, I get it. A couple of times it's fun. It's fun to show your friends that you can control it with your own hands and remote controller, but every day to vacuum like that is not fun. And the same goes for the car. If there is a nice windy road along an ocean, yes, it's fun to drive sometimes, but when you are driving in the traffic every day in the morning when you're sleepy, screw that.
As an example, before buying a Cybertruck, I looked obviously at other options. I needed a truck. I wanted an electric truck. I didn't really care about it made of metal. Well, it's cool, but for me it's rather a gimmick. I wanted range, and I, like many, also ranted about range. But picking between Cybertruck's 300 miles and, for example, Silverado's 500 miles, I was like, okay, now what? I should drive these 500 miles by myself? It's strange. For me, even, it's strange, but the world is changing either we want it or not. I personally love technology and I accept it easily, but I get that evolutionary defense mechanism that tells us to fear and refuse everything new. I know it's difficult to understand if you drive a car every day and it feels natural because you've been driving for whole your life. But trust me, it's a million times more practical, safer, and nicer overall for you and your family to have it to drive on its own while you remain in full control still. I'm not selling anything, I don't really care. This is my opinion, this is my experience, and I am being completely honest here. Okay, this is it for now. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with my opinion here, or if I missed anything. It's always interesting to read it and I will answer it as well. Don't forget to join Pi Messenger and our small group here if you have any questions. And this is it for now. Thank you for watching it and thank you for your time. Bye.
I'll be back.